Hey everyone, Count Johnula from Nintendo Life here, and I come bearing a warning. The following video has been rated by the Spooky Board as spooky. If there are any children in your house, make them go to bed. I don't care what time it is. I don't care what room they're in. I don't care what time zone you're in. Make them sleep. Anyway, on with the video. Mario is no stranger to a boo or two. Ghost houses have been a staple of the series since Mario World. He's even explored sunken ships full of the things, which kind of implies that these are all dead people. Oh dear. But there's been a few times where the Mario series has dipped its toe in something a little more menacing than just a boo. For instance, 4-4 in Mario 3D Land houses a rather eerie Easter egg. This is already a bit of a spooky level taking place in a ghost house, but it gets far more intense than that. Upon finishing the level, don't touch the flagpole, but instead wait in this corner right over here. If you stand there for a few seconds, this ghostly figure will appear. This is definitely not a boo. What we're seeing here is a flat-out ghost. Someone call Luigi. That's not all for 3D Mario though, and this secret is particularly eerie because it takes place in a game that doesn't even exist. In Super Mario Galaxy 2 Shiverburn Galaxy, you're being watched. This can't usually be seen in normal gameplay, but if you go into first person and look up at the skybox, you will see 3 alien figures looking down at Mario. These guys follow you throughout the entire level. You'll see them at the start, you'll see them in the middle, and you'll even see them just before you grab the star. They've been dubbed the Hell Valley Sky Tree due to their texture name, but what exactly are they, and why are they there? There's nothing else in the game close to resembling these creatures, so it's very out of place. But whenever you play Mario Galaxy 2, just know, you're being watched. Halloween this year falls on a Saturday, and every single Saturday in Animal Crossing, someone tries to communicate. Not much is broadcasted on the TV in the early hours of the morning, but every single Saturday, precisely at 3:33 AM, this will appear. For an entire minute, aliens will attempt to contact you through this TV broadcast. As soon as the minute's up, they're gone. So if you want to stay up until 3:33 AM this Halloween, you too could make contact with aliens. The Pokemon series is well known for its creepy urban legends, but this one is pretty darn explicit. In Lumio City, one of the buildings has a ghost. Making your way to this building over here and going up to the second floor, you'll get this cutscene. The lights dim, a girl glides across the floor and says "You're not the one" before disappearing. What's more, Kotaku spoke to Junichi Masuda who claims, "We didn't put anything like that in the game." You can encounter her again later in the game where she'll say, "Don't talk to me. If you do, I won't hear the elevator." She would even reappear in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire where she would again say, "No, you're not the one." The same line as X and Y. So while that's very spooky, there's another ghost in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Phoebe of the Elite Four is a ghost-type trainer, which that in itself is rather suspicious. And if you look closely during this cutscene, there are 2 instances of a ghostly figure. One appears right on this chair over here for a few frames during a fade-out, and the other instance is right by your face over here. These aren't the same person, but it's still very eerie all the same. Miss Abyss in Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is one of the most beautiful levels in the game. It certainly doesn't seem like it could be housing anything too menacing, right? Well, 4 years after the game's release, this was discovered. After going through this passage here, make your way up the corridor for just a little bit, but then turn back. It's impossible to make your way back without taking a hit, but it's worth it. As you make your way back, a swarm of fish will swim away from a Metroid. That's right, you just unleashed a Metroid into the ocean. What have you done? This isn't the first time Retro's Donkey Kong Country has referenced Metroid, but this isn't just a ship in the trees, this is an actual Metroid. The Game Boy camera was far more than just a camera for the Game Boy. This thing was packed with personality and minigames, and the main menu even mirrors an RPG screen. So what happens when you choose run? Nothing. 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 Oh, sweet Jesus! When you choose run, there's a small chance of a scary face appearing with some ominous music, and the words, "What are you running from?" This is likely literally asking why you're running in a camera menu, but still, the tone, the music, the face, it's all terrifying. Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 are littered with scary facts in their lore, and while we're getting to that in just a moment, let's point out this thing first. Have you tried just listening to the background before and after a boss battle? Here's what it can sound like. There's a lot of mechanical noises that sound like they're coming somewhere from the land above, but more than that, sometimes it can sound like screams. The world surrounding Splatoon can be very dark, like with this sunken scroll for example. A 12,000-year-old fossil of a creature with an odd internal skeleton. The small skull indicates the creature was likely primitive, with little intelligence. The specimen appears to have been fossilized in the middle of some kind of ritual. So basically what this means is Splatoon is set in a post-human apocalypse. We are all long dead in the world of Splatoon, and maybe these noises are echoes of our past. Nowadays, there is no punishment for leaving Animal Crossing without saving, but back in the day, it was a pretty big deal. Mr. Rossetti would give you this long speech to make sure that you always save. However, in the original, it could get a lot more drastic. If you have 2 memory cards in the system, both with different towns on them, you can go to the train station and try and visit the other town. However, once you're on the train, reset the system. Upon booting up, you'll get a short lecture from one of your villagers, but once you come into the town, something's different. For resetting during the transfer, you get a gyroid face. There's no emotion or movement, just a static gyroid face. Rossetti's not playing around this time. Rogueport in Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door is already pretty sleazy. I mean, this is right in the center of town. No one's batting an eye, but this building over here perhaps showcases it the best. It's not just that it's messy and there's a cockroach. In fact, the eeriness actually escaped the Western version, but in the Japanese version, it looked a bit more like this. Yeah, there's a chalk outline of a toad with some dried blood next to it. This is more than a rundown house. This is a murder scene. So basically, don't go to Rogueport. And for our final creepy secret, we visit Luigi's Mansion. Now this game is intentionally spooky, not really scary, but there is one unintentional visual that's had fans talking for years. Near the end of the game, Luigi enters this room with 3 ringing phones. Picking one up causes the camera to move, and if you wait there for a bit for a lightning flash, you'll see this. It definitely looks like Luigi has hanged himself. Now this can be explained as the game usually has a fixed camera, and moving the camera causes the shadows to react a bit differently to usual. But despite an explanation, there's no denying how creepy this looks. It makes me tense up every time I come to this room. So are there any spooky Nintendo secrets that you know of that weren't in this video? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to scare that subscribe button so much that it runs away and no one can ever unsubscribe. And we'll catch you next time. Bye everyone, and happy Halloween from Nintendo Life. Boo.